Doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. A little rainy out here, but doing great.
Thank you for accepting my invitation and accepting to be on my show.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
I thought to introduce you to my audience.
Say that again.
I thought to introduce you to my audience.
Well, thank you.
So, can you please introduce yourself to my audience?
Oh, yeah. My name is Frank Middleton. I'm the author of Blood, Music, and Mutation.
You're from?
I'm from Bristol, Tennessee.
So, Blood, Beauty, and Mutation.
Blood, Music, and Mutation.
Blood, Music, and Mutation. What is it about?
It's about vampires, a mutant vampire who has to learn to deal with being different.
Can you elaborate?
Um, he starts out dying and gets thrown into a world of vampires. And during this time, he mutates, ends up with 6 arms, and has to deal with being looked at as a freak. He tells the story of how he struggled to get to where he's at in the world today. I'm hoping to follow up with it on a second book that's almost done now.
And what is the second book is about?
It's basically following the adventures of him, and I can't really say much more. It would be a spoiler. Um, but he has new challenges to deal with.
Is this the continuation of the previous book?
Yes, it sure is. It will be a direct sequel.
So, what made you to put that name for the book?
Originally, the book was going to be called 7 Days Till Darkness, but due to other title and rights to that particular title, we had to change it, and it was just basically brainstorming with my co-writer on what we would call it next. And I mean, we kicked around maybe 50 just to 100 different titles trying to come up with something that sounded good. And where the main character plays 2 cellos and a violin, we decided that would probably be best. Um, the blood representing vampires, music representing how he plays music throughout the story, and mutation because he is a form of a mutant.
So, what made you to write this?
Um, to be honest with you, I don't really know. I kind of I had a brainstorming idea, and I've went through a lot in my life, and I poured all my pain and suffering into this one character. And I just one morning I woke up and thought, well, this would be really cool if I did this, and started writing it.
When you started?
Uh, wow, it's been over 3 years ago.
So how much
Um,
time it took for you to complete?
took 2 years to complete the first book. The second book will be done within about a year.
Awesome. So it's a fictional book.
Yeah,
It's a
um,
fictional story.
yeah. It's just basically loosely based on a lot of the events in my life that I just basically metaphorically translated over into the story. When I was a kid, I was bullied a lot. Um, you know, People saw me as ugly, the insults and stuff. So I poured all that into it.
What is the reaction that you got for the book that you released?
So far, I've gotten a mixed reaction, positive reviews, but people see it more as a young adult story rather than an adult story, which was what I was going for. So far, I've had three-star reviews and 3 5-star reviews.
Are you satisfied with that?
Yeah, I am. I respect people's opinion, and plus, I've gotten a lot of positive feedback as to what I need to do going into the next book. So I'm hoping for, a lot more improvement going into it.
What is the reaction that you cannot forget?
Huh?
What is the reaction that you cannot forget that you got for the expression of yours?
The best one I've gotten so far was one woman put that she had read it from cover to cover and was excited for the next one. Another reaction was a woman who put in a lot of positive feedback as to what I needed to do, because the book I really struggled with writing because I have mental illness, and she showed me how to get things straightened out there. I've had a lot of trouble with sentence structure. So the next book I'm really hoping to improve with.
So you said the main character becomes the vampire.
Yeah. The main character is Alexander, and he's been around vampires his whole life. He just never knew it.
You don't
And
know that he's with the vampires.
no, he doesn't know that he's being watched or being cared for by them. He goes around life thinking that everything's normal, but when he gets cancer, it forces the vampires to step up the process of turning him. And because of this, he doesn't hit puberty in time, and he's always living life as a child. He'll never grow up. Beyond the age of 14, he will never go beyond that point. So he has to deal with that as well.
So can you visualize people who are reading the book of yours?
Say what?
Can you make people visualize with the words that you have?
Yeah, I've got a good descriptive in the book. It's just the sentence structure was a little bit off. I struggled with using Microsoft Word for my first book. I'm definitely going to be looking at another app to help me do that again. I would not recommend Microsoft Word as far as getting your book formatted. The company needs a lot of work there. I will probably be most likely looking at Google Documents this time around for the second book.
Do you believe that you gave your 100% after seeing the reactions of the people?
Yeah, I put everything I had into the book, but I know there's more I can do to improve. And the book's not going to be for everybody. My family won't even read it, so you know. But that was to be expected. My book's a little bit different than their beliefs and whatnot.
So what is the new thing that people can find in your book and they cannot find in other books which are connected with vampires?
Uh, Typically, vampires are basically, one look. They don't really have a ugliness to them. Most vampire books you find, the character's always beautiful. Alexander has 6 arms, and at 7'7", he's very unique. And as the character grows into the following books, he will add other mutations. I can't say much more as far as what mutations are coming. That would definitely be a spoiler, but we are definitely working really hard. My roommate and I are brainstorming nightly on what we're going to be adding and subtracting from the next book. You can expect music throughout the book. I mean, that's the one thing I noticed is that most vampire books don't have the musical. My book goes by its own soundtrack. My character plays covers of songs as he's going through telling the story. So nightly we're brainstorming, listening to music, what songs are going to fit the situation for the book. My roommate and I are both huge fans of AC/DC, Godsmack, a group called Two Cellos. So we've got a mix of classical, rock, country, and various other musical forms into it.
What is your inspiration to write this?
My inspiration is just my pain, really. I've lived a very hard life, and now I'm just now getting to the point where I've got a really good life going. I was homeless for a long time. Like I said before, I've been bullied, taken more than my fair share of beatings, abused in the foster care system. So just a whole lot of hurt right there, and I took it all and put it into one book.
So you're saying that this is your story.
Yeah, in a way, it's a metaphorical interpretation of all my pain.
Do you think that people who reads it feels the same that you felt?
I don't know if they'll see it or not, as far as what I went through. But the only thing I really hope is that they take away that, that no matter how bad things are, you can still find a way.
Are you a full-time writer?
I'm disabled, and yeah, pretty much. I mean, I'm not allowed to work anymore due to mental illness, and plus, when I go out in the sun, I get sores all over my body. So the idea is that basically I stay at home, clean house and stuff. My roommate works.
So when you started writing in your life?
Oh wow, um, fifth grade I started writing. Sorry, that's been a long time ago. Uh, uh, I started probably about 30 years ago, and I've been just doing it ever since.
So what are the changes that you observed in yourself as a writer?
Kind of. Can you be more specific on the question?
In your writing, what is the changes that you are observing? Because it has been long time, 30 years. I'm sure there
Oh,
will be changes in the way you are expressing.
I got more creative with my descriptive work. My early stuff was horrendous. Um, I had a lot of help with various teachers who saw that I had talent to tell a story. I just didn't have the English skills to do it with. I'm really terrible at punctuation, and where I'm dyslexic, I see my letters backwards, so it becomes tricky there. Um, so just a whole lot of refining and everything, um, and not letting my emotions get the better of me when I tell a story. Also, I've learned a lot about editing, and not overly describing something.
Have you published any book before this?
Oh no, this was my first. I got it published in June of 2020 last year. Was super excited then. I still can't believe I've actually done it. And now that's we're almost to the end of the second book, which will be a lot shorter.
Who do you think that connects with this book?
People who are a fan of the vampire genre will definitely fall in love with this book. Those who love the mutant stories, young adults for sure will really enjoy this book. It's definitely not for the people who are romantic, because that was one of the things me and my co-writer fought about was I all the vampire stories seem to have a romantic link. I did not want that for my book. But yeah, people who are into vampires, mutants, who love action will definitely get a kick out of this book. Sorry, I have a cat. And he seems to think he wants attention all the time.
So at last, do you have anything to say to the world who watches this video from anywhere on this planet about your books and about the coming book?
I hope they enjoy it. I hope they understand that it comes from a point of view of being open-minded. I wanted to have a ton of diversity in the book, which was one of the things I strived for. And I wanted to have a book that was open-minded, to that everybody was equal, that in my book there's no racism, no discrimination, that that there is a better tomorrow out there.
If you send me the book links where people can find and buy it, if you send me those links, I'll put in the description of this video. People who finds this video can go through it.
I certainly will.
So at last, have you seen any videos of mine on YouTube?
Not yet, but I'm definitely going to be subscribing. Since we moved into this new place, we have not had time really to take a breath.
I'm sure you will like.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely promote it too on Twitter and places.
So thank you very much, sir, for giving me a valuable time and telling me about your books.
Thank you for calling me up for an interview. It was quite wonderful to see you again.
I'll take you another interview once your second book is published.
Oh, that'll be awesome.
Keep going. Keep doing what you love. Be happy.
Thank you, sir. You really made my day.
Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Can I put this video and audio clip on my YouTube, social media, internet, podcast, on my website, everywhere with your permission?
Oh yes, you have my full permission. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Again.
You're welcome. You have a good and be safe out there.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.